Hey, Dr. Mike here. So if you want to live forever-ish, you have to know what's in and what's not. Stay tuned to find out.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
All right, welcome to Live Forever. So today, Dr. Crystal, the ins and outs of living forever-ish.
My favorite show
Yes.
of the month. I really like
do.
this show.
I like it too because it's quick, it's to the point. Here's do these, don't do this
Yes.
type of thing. So, all right, so let's get right into this. Oh, by the way, living forever-ish, I don't know, for us it means it's not just longer, it's stronger.
Healthier, vibrant, better quality of life
Yeah.
as you get into your older years.
You know, still being able to do what you want to do when you're 80 and 90.
Right. I want to travel, especially with people retiring later and later in life. You still want to be able to see the world.
Yeah, get out there, right?
Yes.
All right, so that's what we mean by live forever-ish. All right, so let's get right into this. It, number one, has to do with the kidneys, right? And it has to do with the fact that if you want to live forever-ish, you need good kidneys.
Yes, the kidneys, they're all about filtering out junk.
We got... And they start working harder and harder and harder as you get older.
And their function or their ability to work is diminished when you have diabetes. And so that's what this is all about.
Yeah. And you could argue, because we've done shows on just sugar itself, that, you know, even just slightly excess sugar could start having some damage to kidneys, especially way over time, right? So it may not even just be diabetes, pre-diabetics, that kind of stuff as well.
Yes, you do see that. My dear uncle, late Uncle George, Uncle Joe. Who's George? I do have an Uncle George too.
I have an Uncle George.
But Uncle Joe, you've heard me talk about him. I used to care for him, and he had a nephrologist. And I developed a great relationship with his doctor, his kidney doctor. And the doctor said that the people who come in that he see the most are diabetics and people with hypertension.
Yeah.
That they're just not controlling.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so what do you do when you're dealing with diabetic kidney disease? And we know that up to 40% of patients with type 2 diabetes develop
that's a lot.
Kidney disease.
That's millions and millions and millions of people with kidney disease. I mean, think about it.
Yes, and I don't know. Do you know anyone who's dealing with this? I have some family members.
I don't have any personal family members, but you remember after radiology, I went in internal medicine for a while, and the most common people we saw were people with diabetes and related issues. I mean, we saw it all the time, from bad kidneys to bad toes to bad brains.
Right. It doesn't resonate with individuals until it's too late. Yeah. That's the other part is where they really start realizing they're having to go in for dialysis 3 times a week.
Yeah. And please don't wait that's not the time to start thinking about health. It really isn't. Although God bless people that are on it. It works. That's great. But so let's bring this back now to a specific nutrient, right? So in number one is, hey, healthy kidneys. And how do we keep our kidneys healthy even with diabetes? You wanted to talk about curcumin.
Yes, 2021 meta-analysis, which is thought to be the first meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials to analyze the effects of curcumin supplementation on diabetic kidney disease. It was published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine, and it evaluated 5 trials involving 290 patients.
And that's a good, let's real briefly remind people, that's a good journal, right? Like that. This isn't in some podunk journal written in someone's garage. I mean, this is a peer-reviewed, highly respected journal.
Right. And so the average age of the patients was 60. And one thing I had to dig, and with meta-analysis, sometimes you do have to dig a little bit to look at the trials that they included.
That they picked.
Yeah, because I wanted to know how much curcumin were the participants taking.
Very good question.
Is this something where it was just a survey and they just said, yes, no, I take curcumin? And we do have that information. 3 of the trials used curcumin capsules at doses from about 320 to 1,600 70 milligrams per day.
Okay.
Some pretty high doses. One study used curcumin capsules at about 66 milligrams per day, and then another trial used nanocurcumin.
So, that's different. Well, it's
Right,
not different, but we can talk about that.
At about 80 milligrams a
Yeah.
day.
So, so those are good doses. It's nice that we have that information. Kind of high. I think the average person probably doesn't need that much curcumin, but we're talking about diabetics with kidney disease, right?
Yes, well, on that higher end, but you typically see a good curcumin dose is around 500 milligrams, something like that.
What were the results?
Well, that's the good part. There was a decrease in creatinine.
Okay, you got to explain that.
Yeah, creatinine is a byproduct of kind of muscle breakdown, right?
Yeah,
and your kidneys have to filter it out.
Yeah, it's a standardized way to look at kidney function because the amount of creatine that is produced is very consistent. Mm-hmm. And so there's a consistent amount that you expect to find in blood and urine, right, if the kidneys are working well. Mm-hmm. The minute you see a little bump up, that tells you right there something's not right.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a standard release.
Yeah, and you see that kind of parallel with the EGFR, which is kind of the filtration rate. Right. With the kidneys. They kind of go hand in hand. But what was also nice about the results was, along with creatinine, there were improvements in total cholesterol, glucose, and blood pressure compared to the placebo.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, the total cholesterol is interesting. But, with healthier kidneys, blood pressure should improve. I mean, I think that makes sense to me. So that's good to see. Glucose, total cholesterol, interesting.
Yeah, well, you can think about how curcumin can ease inflammation, manage inflammatory responses in the body. I think it overall leads to better metabolic health.
Yeah. I take curcumin every day.
Oh, I take it. No, I only take it when my joints hurt after I've been running.
Oh boy, no, I take it every day. It's been one of my go-tos probably for the last 10 years.
Yeah, well, I take it, when I feel like I'm inflamed.
All right, so that is in number one, healthy kidneys, even if you're a diabetic, and curcumin may help.
That's right.
That? All right, let's go to in number two, Bok Choy.
Bok Choy,
I love
Chinese cabbage.
Love it.
Oh, it's so good.
It's wonderful.
But it's only associated with, Asian dishes. And I don't know why we don't make it more often.
We don't, yeah. I mean, a lot of teriyaki type dishes and stuff like that. And, one of my favorite restaurants, they make a wonderful bok choy all by itself, like as an appetizer.
Oh, really?
So, it has like a teriyaki flavor.
Oh, I was wondering if it's kind of...
So
He's hungry. You're making me hungry, Dr. Mike.
Well, why are we talking about? Why is it an in?
Wow, it's ranked the 6th most nutrient-dense food based on the aggregate nutrient density index. Now, this is not
number? What number?
Number 6.
Whoa, I would have never. That's pretty good.
I know. So it's an index developed by Dr. John Furman. It's not as popular. I had to look up the index to kind of gather what it was all about, but it shows how popular foods, about 72 foods, stack up in terms of micronutrient density. And I thought that was pretty cool because it's not just looking at vitamins and minerals. Oftentimes when you look at the USDA's definition of something that's nutrient dense, it's looking at vitamins, minerals,
the basic stuff all the time. Yeah, this takes a little deeper dive in what actually might be in there.
Exactly, and looking at some of the polyphenol antioxidants as well.
It looks like it's bok choy is in pretty good company here, right? You got kale.
That's number one.
That's number. So I'm assuming maybe these are in order. Kale.
Yes.
Collard greens, number 2. Mustard greens, number 3. Watercress.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And Swiss chard, and then after that is our bok choy.
Bok choy. So I said, hey, I need to find some bok choy and find some good recipes. Usually just chop it up when I've prepared it, and I just saute it. I don't put the teriyaki
Yeah.
sauce or anything like that on it. Just some olive oil, some salt and
Sounds
pepper.
good.
I like the
Sounds so good.
I like the part, the white part.
Yeah.
That's the
You
part
can
I like
grill
the
'em.
most.
You can grill them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can just play them right. You know, I don't know. I'm starting to get hungry. I can't talk. you just lay them right down on the grill, and just kind of put some oil on them or something, and just let them go.
Maybe this weekend.
Yeah,
Might
that
be
sounds
good.
good. But everything on that list, I love kale, collard greens, mustard greens. Oh yeah. This is good stuff. And that's something I was introduced when we moved from California to Texas.
Oh, collard greens with
all-
barbecue.
everywhere. And I was like, when you first see it, you're like, what is that?
Oh no! Well, you know, I'm from Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah,
Collard
you
greens,
grew up with
that's
them.
every day, all day.
Yeah.
And mustard greens, not as much mustard, more collards. But my grandmother used to make mustards all the time.
Yeah, collard greens is the most one. But I remember once, I had them every time we went. Yeah, very big with, in other places with you go to barbecue joints, it's like the baked beans and stuff like that. Now that's still there too in the Texas barbecue joints, but the collard greens, and we would always get the collard greens. Like we forget the beans and everything.
So good. But the bok choy contains quercetin. We know that's a nutrient, kind of a hot nutrient right now.
Yeah.
Help with seasonal support, reducing inflammation, and it's also rich in sulfur-containing compounds, which have research supporting or protection against cancer.
Yeah, sulfur. It's very important to immune cells, healthy DNA, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And when you open up a bottle of like a sulfur-containing supplement, you're like, "Woo, what is this?" That's good stuff.
Smells like egg.
It's good. You want that. You want that smell.
I know you want it to be stinky.
NAC, all of those. Any selenium, all of those have that little like, woo, funky. That funkiness is good, Robson. Yeah, so here you have 1 cup. Well, this is a lot. 1 cup of bok choy is 64% of your daily value for K. It's a lot. 59% of C and 40% of A in just 1 cup.
That's just 1 cup. And it's, we always think about the orange or the citrus for vitamin C. And I always try to tell those green veggies, green leafy vegetables, even broccoli, you can get good amounts of vitamin C.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the sugars.
Exactly.
Right.
So this is a great example. 59% of your daily value.
I'm really thinking about getting some and grilling.
Are you going to invite me over, Dr. Mike?
Sure, absolutely.
I invite myself over.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's go into number 3, and this is about pets.
Our furry friend.
I don't have.
furry.
Listen, we've had pet people on before, haven't we? We've talked about the benefits of pets.
Oh yes, our live. Remember Charlie came in
Charlie,
for our Ellie
Robson,
live
remember
show.
Charlie came, and you guys are still mad because I haven't cleaned the couch yet. Yeah, see, you forgot.
I look at the dirt on the couch every time I sit on there.
Charlie, you don't have to convince me. Pets will help you live forever ish.
That's right. Very true.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, even the fact that if you have a dog and you got to walk the dog, unless you hire somebody, Dr. Crystal.
No,
but,
never.
But right there, they just get you out. They make you do things. They love on you. They're great. So we want to keep them healthy.
Yes, we do.
So whole food nutrition for our pets is in number 3. Some of that food that you could buy at the grocery stores, tell me that's pretty bad stuff.
I would say the main thing is it's highly processed and it's shelf stable, right? So anything that's shelf stable, they are using the high heat.
Yeah.
And we know that high heat is destroying.
It's killing any nutritional value.
Exactly. And that's all your dog's
It's dead food.
getting. They're not receiving the fresh fruit and vegetables. So even if we have some canned goods occasionally, we may pair like baked beans and we may have a salad with those baked beans. So we're still getting live
You're getting some
food.
fresh stuff, yeah. So you got to mix it up with them a little bit, I think.
Yes. And so you just find that many pet food companies use carbohydrates like grains, cheaper sources of calories than meat to use as fillers. So we know the benefits of eating real food.
Why not give them to the pets? Right? They need real food too.
They do.
That's why when we're eating, they look at what you're eating. They want what you're eating because it's real food. They're not stupid. They're smart. Animals are smart. They're looking at what you're eating. You're like, that's a lot better what you're giving me over here.
Right. So then the challenge now is obviously the most pet foods are designed to be convenient for us, the pet owners. And how do we take it to the next level to make sure our pets are as healthy as we are?
I mix it up. I don't know if I'm going to ever go to those because there are companies out there now that they deliver to your home the fresh pet foods and stuff like that. They're expensive. Let's be honest. They're very expensive. So I just do it myself.
You do. You told me about the chicken or something.
Yeah. So with Charlie, I have a little bit of a dry food that has a lot of good minerals and stuff. It's not you don't find it in your standard store, and I don't want to brand things right now, but it has a higher content of minerals and vitamins. There's some grain in it, and that's okay. But he gets like a half a cup of that. Then he gets about a half a cup of some wet. And now the wet I'm not really doing for the nutritional value. It's just adding some like gravy to it.
Yeah.
And then he gets a chicken breast that I make for him. And he loves blueberries. So sometimes, if I remember, I'll smash some blueberries up in it too.
Charlie's a health nut.
He is. Charlie does. Yeah. So there's ways to mix it up. Just make sure when it comes to, make sure you're not giving them something they can't have. Like grapes are supposed to not be good for them. But I just think you mix it up. Some carrots.
Yeah.
Dogs love to chew on carrots.
Oh, my Winston loves carrots.
Yeah.
That's my dog.
Yeah, witty. So, what do you do? Like, do you belong to one of those clubs now where they send you a bunch of food?
We don't, but we do buy high-end dog food. So and then we mix it with, we have these packets, and we mix part dry, part wet. Yeah. So he gets the gravy and everything. And then we also give him probiotic, fish oil, and currently PEA to help with inflammation. So he's getting that.
Older. He's how old is Winston?
He's 13.
So Charlie's 2.5. Charlie does get a multi, but I think maybe in a couple years I'll start adding some things like I think the fish oil is a good one to start with.
Yes, and so we do the freeze dried not pumpkin, sweet potato. So we give him that for a snack, and he likes carrots for a snack, and he's into dried pineapple.
Really? That's good. That's a little odd.
That's Winston's diet.
That's really good though. But so the key thing, you got to get some freshness in there.
Yes.
We're not saying you got to spend all that money and it has to be perfectly fresh all the time. You and I mix it up a little bit. There's some fresh stuff in it. I think that's really the key stuff. So that's what in number 3 is. That's, hey, keep your pets healthy. They're going to keep you healthy. All right. Out. This is what you don't want. 3 ins and an out. What you don't want is acne.
Right. And it's more than just a visual thing. It's more than just aesthetics.
Yeah.
Acne there's an inflammatory response that is going on. And there's a study reported during the European Academy of Dermatology and Venereology Spring Symposium. That was hard to say. And it suggests a protective role for omega-3 fats against acne. And we have some quotes from one of the lead author for the report, and she's just highlighting the role of nutrition. Nutrition plays a pivotal role in the prevention, onset, and course of many diseases, including diseases related to dermatology, such as acne.
Yeah, I haven't looked at this in a while, but I always felt. Obviously, I think it's a different pathology for an adolescent versus an adult. I think in adolescence, yes, there's inflammation, obviously, but I think it's also a little more hormonal, obviously bacterial and all that kind of stuff. But I think when I see adults, especially women that have acne problems, you know what I often find also? Autoimmune disorders.
Really?
There's something going on between excessive inflammation, autoimmune, that sometimes for some women, I don't know why, but women, translates as just acne that they can never get rid of.
Well, I guess you could. somehow think about the inflammation and what's happening.
Well, it's one of those things if you're practicing, and I'm sure we have some practitioners, and you're dealing with a 40-year-old woman who has maybe some joint issues and acne, and they just can't be treated. You might think autoimmune. You might think, is something else driving all this, right? Because I do think the pathology changes.
Wow. Well, when you look at what's happening with omega-3s, some of the study results that the researcher presented at this conference or this symposium, the study revealed that 94% of 100 acne patients whose blood samples were analyzed for omega-3 fats had levels lower than the recommended concentrations.
Yeah.
So we do see, also higher omega-3 fatty acid levels were found among people who regularly consume legumes and those who supplemented with omega-3 fatty acids.
Yeah.
And that was nice that they, in this analysis, it was more than just, again, survey, which you see that a lot with nutrition research. They measured omega-3s in the red blood cells.
Yeah. You can't, surveys are just flawed. I mean, they're good. They give some information, but you should never draw an absolute conclusion on a survey.
No, you can't, because I can't remember what I had to eat yesterday. And sometimes you're asking people to remember.
Well, and people lie. Let's just be honest. You're doing a vitamin and supplement survey, and you're going up to someone, and they're going to want to be defensive and act like they're healthy and tell you, I take vitamins. So a bunch of people are put into the vitamin group who actually never take vitamins.
Or maybe they bought the vitamins. They have it in the pantry.
It's still there, and they count that as taking it. Anyway, so that's good that they actually measured these levels and showed. And I also think it's good that they mentioned supplementation as well. Mm-hmm. Getting enough omegas through the plant side, your seeds, nuts, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. On the animal side, the fish and stuff. It's hard to really get a lot. I mean, you that would have to consume most of your diet if you're going to boost up your omega levels, right?
Right.
So supplementation, I think, is key.
Yes, I agree. It's and supplementation. What does that look like? 2 to 4 grams.
Wait, that's not what you tell me. You know what I take, and you say I'm not doing it right.
Because you only take 2 grams. I prefer.
You just said 2 to 4, and but then when I tell her I take 2, it's not enough.
Because I know you, and so I can tailor it for you.
So you know me, and you think I need a lot more. She thinks I look inflamed, Robson.
I did not say that.
All right. Well, anyways, that's I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I let living foreverish, stronger, healthy. Yes, longer, but good lives, and we talk about a lot of things, and these shows just kind of summarize some of the great stuff that's out there. So there's your 3 ins and an out. I want to thank everyone for listening to Live Foreverish. Don't forget, you can go to liveforeverish.com. How many podcasts we have now?
Oh, hundreds.
Hundreds and hundreds. And I don't even know the number.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And we cover a lot of stuff. Liveforeverish.com. When you download an episode, go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a show. By the way, we revamped our Live Foreverish page. Remember this?
Yes.
So when you go to Live Foreverish, there's 2 things you should do.
Yep, the 1-2.
1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
1, put your email in so that way we can keep you up to date on a lot of good stuff going on. And then number 2, you click which the service you like to listen to podcasts, so you subscribe. So you connect with us and you connect with your subscriber.
That's right.
It's the 1-2 punch at liveforeverish.com. I'm Dr. Mike. Thanks for listening.